Hello everyone, my name is Captain Yost. I built this stern wheel, Morning Glory. I want to take you on a small tour and show you what she's got. She's a fine little boat, turns hard, plenty of power. She's about 56 feet from stem to stern, weighs 25 to 30 ton. I have 6 ton of ballast in the bottom. Built this boat, took 7 years to build this boat from scratch. This is not a haul from a tug or anything. I built everything. I welded as a construction worker and was able to put my welding, what skills I have, into building this boat. It's 56 feet long, 14 foot wide at the hull, 4 foot deep, plenty of storage space on her. After 7 years building this boat, we've had a lot of fun with it. We've taken people along up and down the river, take the kids out and run them underneath the bridge down south, and they've had a lot of fun. So we've had a lot of fun, a lot of family reunions, things like that. We just bought a new house and I'm ready to move on, do some other things. At my age, I got to get them done when I can. So I'm going to take you on this little tour and let you know what she has. Okay, this is the engine room. Inside here we've got a 4BT Cummins diesel, 112 horsepower, all kinds of power. I've got backup batteries. I've got a 25-gallon day tank. You can see a little bit more of that maybe later. Right now, this is the wheel. This is a 10-foot tall wheel, 8 feet wide. Nothing's made for speed on this boat. It's just made for being solid, made to be solid. We run the Babbitt Bearings. That's what these are. I like the Babbitt because they'll never lock up like a regular bearing would lock up. I've got coolers on here that's got cooler tubes on top of the wheel, and they bring water up and dump it along for the radiator. The water in the transmission keeps that all cool. I even have backup pumps for that. If you're sitting still along the bank somewhere and the wheel's not turning, you can use those backup. So that's all taken. Everything's pretty much got a something in line to take over if something does happen to it. We've got the rudder in the back, you can see, is pulled up. We had some problems with, if you get a lot of ice or you get a lot of wood jams, they'll mess with your rudder. So we decided to make this a retractable rudder. You can see it's in the upside now. Typically I go up here on top and there's a hoist up there that I can let that rudder down, disconnect it, run it. When I get done, come back, pull the rudder up out of the water, and ice, wood, logs don't bother it at all. So that was always a good thing to have. You can see the cables here. Like I said, I didn't want hydraulics. I wanted to be manual. I wanted to be like the old time boats were, and I think I've achieved that. I've got a swing away door here. I wanted a wide door, but I didn't have the room with the amount of walkway that I've got. So this is a folding door. On the other side, I've got a sliding door, opens completely up on the other side, so I can get into all the mechanics of the inside. You can see here, this is a spuds. This is probably one of the 2 best things on this boat is the spuds. Those are 6x6 solid with H-beam piercing at the bottom. They run 12 feet, and if I drop them all the way down, we can get down into the mud. I can go under the hull 8 feet below the hull. So if I pull up along a bank somewhere, all I have to do is drop these in the mud. I've got them on all 4 corners, and you don't have to worry about tying off. The boat will just raise and lower on these spuds, which is really a great idea. Now I run the back 2 manually back here. The wife will run those. The front 2 I run from the Wheelhouse. They all run off of the 12-volt batteries on the inside. These are the hoists. I love these. These are probably the second best thing we have on. The other thing is the solar panels I have up on top. I have an array of solar panels. They feed into the batteries here in the engine room, and they are on a pure sine inverter. The regular inverters aren't good for electrical appliances, so you have to have a pure sine. So I've got a 3,500 watt pure sine inverter. and that'll run everything inside the boat. We lived on here for about 6 weeks. I have 2 batteries in there now. I added about 4 more batteries. It took care of everything we needed during the day and night. So that pretty much takes care of that. Have a 3,500 watt generator inside. So if the batteries run out on the solar panels, the generator will take over. Okay, we're looking at the bow of the boat. Here's the 16-foot plank I was telling you about. This is where my wife cooks most of the time. We have an oven on our stovetop on the inside, but she likes to cook out here. The boat is 14 feet wide, not counting the walkways on both sides. So you're looking at about 17, 18 feet total up here. The hull, like I said, was 47 inches deep. I wanted to make sure I had plenty of room to work down inside. So I made it deep enough that I can get down in there and work. The hull is a 1/4 inch steel all the way around, and even the deck, not counting the deck out here, but even on the inside, it's steel. Now I've got wood bamboo flooring over that with 2 inches of foam underneath of that, but if we'd ever happen to get a wash, it's not going to get down inside like most of the wooden ones would. We've got about 24 inches in the water. We're running about 23 inches of freeboard, which is more than enough freeboard. I've got 5 tons of ballast in the bottom. Keeps her nice and level and down into the water nice and deep. We've got 4 watertight compartments. I have 3 bulkheads. This is the first compartment right here. This is basically the compartment that I use to store. I've got ropes, hundreds of foot of rope, electric, chain falls, come-alongs, cables. We've got just about all the odds and ends that you would need are down in here. We've got more clamps, you name it in there. I have extra water pumps. Just about everything is being backed up somewhere on this boat. Like I said, we've got 4 watertight compartments, 3 bulkheads. In second compartment is where we have the 200 gallons of water storage. We have 200 or 145 gallon diesel tank in that one. We have the air compressor is in there. We control it from upstairs. That's for the whistle, and if you'd happen to need air for anything else, we've got a connection upstairs and one downstairs for that. You have the extra air capacity storage in there besides the tank itself. That's the second compartment. Third compartment, we have the backup diesel tank. It's a 100 gallon. I've never used it, but it's ready to go. If you wanted to put 145 here, 100 gallon in the back, we're talking 245 gallons total. And at the speed and the rate that we normally go, we can do anywhere from 2 to 3 miles per hour, depending on the current flow and, of course, the wind. So that'll get you quite a ways, 245 gallon. You're looking at 500 miles. Last compartment is the would be it's just a completely open. That's in the very, very back. There's nothing in there. I don't store anything in there. We've got enough weight on the back that I had to put ballast out front, so I wanted to keep that kind of light in the tail end. And I can move this ballast around as I put things on and off the boat, so that can all be readjusted. We made sure that I wanted to put something on here for the grandkids. I didn't want, a lot of decks are open decks. I wanted to make sure I had something on here that was okay to bring the grandbabies on, and we have a lot of kids that come on now and then, so I want to make sure it was good for them. Most boats are, like I said, are wide open, and I didn't want that. And in case someone happened to buy the boat or use it for making excursions or pay to take rides, this boat's set up for that. Even the electrical is set up as a marine. It's not set up as a regular household current like a lot of people do. That's not good if you're going to use it as a business. So it's all set up. We've got the 110 and we've got the backup 12 volt. So it's pretty much taken care of. Okay, the toolboxes. We've got double boxes here. These are loaded with bolts, nuts, electrical, everything you can think of electrical is in this box. Bolts, nuts, washers, anything that you could could possibly need is on here. Bottom one, paint, all kinds of odds and ends storage. So I use that a lot for basically my paints and odds and ends. And this up here, even wrenches. I have solar powered motion sensors up here. These are on all four corners. They build up solar power from these little panels up above, and anybody comes within 75 feet of the boat, they light up, and they really bring the light. This little thing here on the side, I laid one of them out for you to see. They just sit, you hook them up the top and lay them out in case you're up next to another boat or you're getting close to a shore, but you don't want to get in close enough to throw a wood plank or something out. So I made this to set over here. I've got another one that hangs along the side that you can put out on that end, so you can get 16 feet from the bank and still be able to get your little walkway to the bank. Now you can take it from this side and take it over on the other side and do the same thing. Get you another 16 feet on that side. So it works out nice, and you just carry it along with you and use it when you need it. This is again the front spud. These are magnets I use when I lose something overboard. I catch those. But these are the main spuds. You can see how tall they are, and they're still about 3 foot below here. These are up because this side of the boat is in deeper water and I don't need them. I just drop them on the side that I do need them. If we were going up and down the river and we have a problem, which we've had when I was first building it, I pull over along the bank somewhere and drop that spud, and we're in business. These are the hoists that pick and lower your spuds. There's one on all four corners. And they seem to be more than enough to lift and lower those spuds. Like I said, there's two good things I really like on this boat, and that's the spuds and that's the solar panels. This motor here is one for the plank. There's a hoist up here. You can do it manually. You can do it with this one. The cable runs inside. I didn't want it to run outside. I ran it inside of this pipe, and that runs out and raise and lower your plank. Up above there's a 500 watt light, LED light. We use that when we have company or someone wants to light things up here on the river. If I'm pulling in at night and it's getting late, I'll put that big light on, and that really brightens things up. Got another one on the back over top of the wheel. I like to run it. If we're running at night, I'll use that one, and it shows the wheel off turning. That's pretty impressive when you're going up and down the river and people see that. So I like that. But everything you see here, everything inside, like what's inside of this all goes with the boat. This box here has got all your life jackets. I think I've got about 25 or maybe 30 life jackets. Those all go with the boat. This box here, that's where your propane tanks are. It's got room for 2 100-pound propane tanks. It's got an automatic engager on the top that it will move from one tank to the other as one gets empty. Right now I've just got the single tank in. The other side I put rope and cables, not cables, but electric. I got all kinds of electrical hookups for just about anything that you might run into as far as shore power. I don't use much shore power, especially here. I've never used shore power. I use my solar panels at night, and if I'm working my tools or anything, I'll use a generator. But we've not had to use any shore power. So if you're careful in what you use, solar panels will be more than enough. Okay, we're inside the boat now, and this is the main room downstairs. I'm going to show you the electrical panel. This is where I was telling you that we have the 12 volt and the 120 volt. I have the solar panel button right here that turns on your solar, and you can run everything in the boat off the solar. Over here you switch from solar to your either shore power if you need it, or the generator. This panel takes care of everything. I have a zinc saver over here. If you're set up along other boats and there's electrical current in the water, that takes care of it, and that helps keep the hull of the boat from rusting out also. Plenty of storage space, more than enough for the wife because she doesn't want to do a lot of cooking on the boat anyway, but there's plenty of storage space. Regular sink. We've got a 3-burner gas propane gas heater. The wife didn't want an oven because she said she only does oven work at home. Plenty of storage space up here. These paintings, those are mine. So if I'd happen to sell the boat, I'm taking the paintings. This is the regular refrigerator, small but more than sufficient for what we need on a boat. This is the bathroom. It's got a sliding door. Inside we have a full shower. We have the commode, full sink, medicine cabinet. All right, the commode runs off of what's called it's a standard commode for a boat, but it uses what's called a Raritan electroscan system for the sewage. You don't have to have backup or tank to hold your sewage and then have it pumped out later on. This system is the only system that's good for inland waterways that's certified by the Coast Guard. So it uses the saltwater brine to mix with, and then it purifies it, and the next pump next time you flush, that flushes out, and everything's good. So, and then I have a bypass. If you want to work on the system, you want to clean something, do something, you've got a bypass on that also. So that's really important to me because we didn't want to have to stop every once in a while and get everything pumped out and go through all that mess. This you have no mess whatsoever. This is this would be the third hatch that we were talking about. Made them nice and big, easy to get in. The second hatch is right here in front. We got a regular kitchen table. This couch folds out and it makes into a bed. We've got the AC, window AC here, and I have another one for upstairs when we need it. On that end, you have TV, everything. It's got a little antenna upstairs. Depending on where you're at, right here I can pick up Channel 7, Channel 9, sometimes Clarksburg. More than enough to get the news is all I want. That panel in that corner completely comes apart. All the air lines, your electrical lines, for your bilge pumps, there's 8 bilge pumps on this boat, 2 in each compartment, one on port and one on starboard. We'd have to lift one side, but with a 1/4-inch hull, I don't think I'm going to need anything, any pumps for now. But anyway, this all comes apart. It takes about 6 bolts, and all this comes out. All your wiring runs up through there, goes through the ceiling, and back to the electrical. So it makes it real easy, and still have some storage in here at the same time. Now in the wintertime, this chair is moved, and I've got a small propane heater that sits there in the front. That pretty much takes care of everything, keeps it nice and warm in here. I've got in the ceiling, there's 8 inches of insulation separating the 2 floors. If you'd happen to want to just heat the lower section and not the upper section, that's easy enough to do. I wanted the steps outside. I also wanted something on the inside. And I stole this off of something I saw on the internet. I saw it on a sailboat. It allows me to utilize the steps going from inside, but it doesn't take up a lot of room like a big set of stairwells. So it took a little bit for the wife, a little bit of getting used to, but once you get used to it, it's pretty handy. Okay, we're now on the upper deck of the stern wheel. This is just a door going out back. This is a nice deck out back to set on. Most people that come aboard want to set out there, so that's always a good spot. We've got a small closet here. We have more life preservers, life jackets in here. Sometimes we have as many as 25 or 30 people in here, and we always make sure we have plenty of life jackets. So well equipped for that. We've got another TV. DVD player. The bed is a queen-size bed with a foam mattress. I sleep better on this than I do at the house. I don't know whether it's a mattress or it's a little bit of rocking every once in a while when the boats come by. We have a little storage underneath. I wanted to leave this up here looking more like an old ship. And I think we've accomplished that. We have a bay that runs down through the center here, a lot of your electrical supply. So if you need in that electrical supply, all you have to take these little screws out and you can get into that anywhere you need. And then up front is where the brains of the boat is. All right, we're in the wheelhouse now where everything takes place. This is the main panel. all of these are the 8 bilge pumps I was telling you about. One port, one starboard in each compartment. All these gauges up here, you get water temperature, transmission temperature, oil, fuel amount, oil pressure, the voltage in your batteries. All these switches here that shows runs your spuds, your running lights, your horn. There's just loads of them. I've had multiple types of switches in, and this switch is the best switch I've been able to find. It's for a racing car, but it works perfect for the boat. We've got a counter. This is where I take care of the plank out front, and these 2 switches are the ones for the spuds that I was telling you about. I wanted to make sure that we could get to everything, so I hinged this, and all the wiring is underneath. Everything you need is right there. This is the chain that goes down and runs the steering in the back. But this is one of the better things too, being able to get to everything without having to open doors and getting back inside. The wheel will slide right off. These 2 doors come off at the same time, so if you do need to get in there for anything, it's accessible too. This is the line that does the air horn. I told you about a compressor being downstairs. This is how I use it for the horn. This is not the best horn. I made this. I'm not real happy with it. I think it might have to be changed out. I need more of a manly horn. This shows the air pressure in our tank right now. I try to keep it at running about 40 pounds. That's more than enough. Any more than that, and that'll blow the horn up. All of these are your floodlights I was telling you about. Your stern floodlight, your bow floodlight. That's the compressor if you want to pump it back up. This is lower deck lights. Then we drop down here. This is from the radio up here, stereo system, whatever you want to call it, a DVD player. All these switches are where you want it to play. If you want it just in a wheelhouse, or down in the head, or the engine room, flip these switches, and that turns them on for you, or turns them off. I turn them off during the daytime when the wife's here inside, and turn them wide open when I'm up here by myself. We've got we have 2 radios. I've got one handheld and one standard up here. That's you have to have you're supposed to have 2. I tend to use the small handheld more than anything else. I have an extra speaker outside that if someone's out on the front deck, I can hail them from this. That's separate from anything else. This is a standard one up here. So double up on that. I've got, this is of course the speed and the gears. I usually only run the reverse and neutral and low. That's just about it. The motor doesn't run very hard. I only run about 1100 RPMs full out, and that gives me about 12 RPMs on the wheel, which is about as good a speed as you're going to want to go. Usually top it off at about 5. I can run it about 8 if I want to, but I don't like running that hard, so we'll stay at about 8. This is my co-pilot. When we're going down the river and I get bored, I'll get in a straight stretch and put on my co-pilot and let him take care of it until we get to the next bend. Works out pretty good for me. All your electrical supplies and everything runs inside here. That's the horn that I was telling you about. We have first aid kits inside this little cabinet down below. I keep, there's a book on every part of that motor in the back. Your emergency fuses, flares are in there. Storage up here, same thing. I don't really use it a whole lot for storage. I have electrical connections up here. The horn usually runs through that. Same thing on this side. You can see where the wiring is. So I don't use it a whole lot for storage. I use it for more or less odds and ends for the boat. I keep some things up on top, paperwork. Over here, I keep our chart book. You have to have the chart book and have it where wherever you're at on the river. I keep that. I keep a notepad to show where we're at. This is a weather station that's up above. Tells you, the barometer and possible storms coming, wind, things like that. This is the GPS. I forgot to tell you, this is the GPS. It tells you, it keeps track of where you've been. If you want to go back to some place you've been, you can drop that in. You can pull the card out of the side, take it home, view it on your home computer. This is really nice. It's got depth finder in it. I have a regular depth finder here, but I found that this one works a lot better. So I really don't use that. I could probably do away with that out front. And this one is more precise. You can get a lot of information on. There's variable ways that you can look at it. It's almost like a fish finder on the bottom. So I really like that.